this lesson, we're going to learn a beginner level slow blues solo played in the key of C. It's a 12-bar blues. The chords are going to be C, F, and G, and the solo is going to be based on the concepts and techniques taught in the slow blues beginner slow blues lead course, blues guitar method 1, and maybe a little bit from blues guitar method 2, but played at a beginner level, so it's not terribly challenging to pull off a lot of the licks. I'm going to put a lot of nuances in here that will give you something to strive for, even if you can't perfect the vibrato and all the small little blues nuances that make it sound like this. The notes and licks and phrases are not terribly difficult to play, so you can focus on, making them really expressive and trying to really make it sound like you're playing a very vocal blues style. To get the tone for this lesson, I'm using this 54 reissue Gibson Gold Top with P90s into the Super Reverb with no pedals. Okay, let's go ahead and start the lesson. For lick number 1 and the first basically 12 bars, I'm also using the neck pickup here, and I got the volume around 7. Both tones are on 10. I am going to switch to the bridge pickup later when the band starts kicking up a little more intense, and the volume is going to be on 10 for that when I switch to the bridge. Okay, so lick 1 is this. Okay, so for lick number 1, we're starting right here in the first position minor pentatonic scale, key of C, this thing. And I'm coming in right before the band kicks in, and that's going to be coming in on the 9th count. So this is a 12/8 slow blues. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then on that 9th count, you're going to play this. Coming in right on that first beat, right when the C chord comes in, bending 11th fret of our high E string just slightly. And so that's on the 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hitting here, bending just slightly. A lot of times when playing the blues, stuff like this, you're going to bend certain notes, not all the way to like that, but just slightly, almost out of tune. But that's what makes the blues stuff sound really good, especially slow blues. It's kind of those bends that are not really a note. It's just almost to something. It's kind of the in-between sounds. So you can't let it just last for very long. So if you play, perfectly bending to like a note, it doesn't get the same vibe. The thing is, you just want to bend it slightly. See, it's not really a note. You're bending to something that really is in between a note. But those in-between sounds are, to me, that's some of the key thing is that it's going to make your blues solos sound better is playing this type of stuff. It can sound very stale if you're just playing perfect notes everywhere all the time. If you listen to Clapton, Duane Allman, Hendrix, Stevie Ray, all those guys, all the in-between stuff. To me, that stuff comes from, if you listen to old school harmonica, it's all in between the notes. So that's one of the things you want to get in your mind when you're playing slow blues stuff, is try to, figure out places where you could do just those bends. But you cannot let them last for, that sounds like crap. You want to do, sounds real kind of snaky, And to me, it adds a lot of cool factor. So anyway, we got that first thing happening. We're going to rest. Another key thing in playing slow blues is not playing anything at all. When you start out a blues like this, really slow, and the dynamics are kind of low, you don't want to just be playing. Something like that. You got to let things breathe. I'm just kind of trying to illustrate a point here. So, probably not going to play anything like that at the very beginning of a slow blues, but I've heard people do stuff similar like that. But you want to just rest, take a breath. You don't have to fill up every single space of a slow blues. A lot of what makes a slow blues, especially in the beginning, sound so good is the stuff that you don't play. So we got this starting out like that. And we're just going to play nothing. Now, nothing. Now, when the F chord comes in there, we're playing this Albert King style lick. Now, walk down the minor pentatonic. And then I'm going to add the major third here to that minor pentatonic scale. Our ninth fret, our G string. And just bar that 8 to 9. So really easy licks here. Add some vibrato on that little lick, and then we're going back to the C chord here, and we're playing this pretty easy lick. The trick is you got to put the feeling into it. Just don't go. Hitting random strings. Don't care what you're doing. Put everything you got into the notes. Maybe let that hang a little bit. I'm also striking everything, with a lot of different intensity. I'm not just playing straight like this. Try to caress the string, if you want to think about it like that. And then I accent the last two. So that's lick number 1, and that's a few things that you want to think about when playing slow blues. Okay, lick 2 sounds like this. Okay, so for lick 2, we're still on the C chord, and we're going to play this cool major pattern. 10, instead of playing 10, 8, 10, straight from the first position minor pentatonic, we're going to go 10, 7, 10 on that D. And then add that 9th fret. So we're adding 2 little major places. We're adding the major 6th here and our major 3rd. Adding those 2 notes to any position on the minor pentatonic scale will open it up to make it sound more bluesy, blending major and minor together just by adding major 3rd and major 6th here will give you definitely a bluesy sound. So it's critical to learn where those notes are at all over the fretboard. But that's one cool pattern. 10, 7, 10. You also hear a blues start out like that as well. Next, we're going to do this. Another common thing that's used is bending twice, but only striking once. A lot of times when beginners start out, they just want to play every single note. And like, you're going to play down the pentatonic scale. But sometimes you can just bend twice, but only strike once. Or you can do it a few times. So it's a great thing to put into your playing, or just to think about it, to break up the monotony of just picking everything and bending everything. And so the next little phrase is this. So not that terribly difficult of lick, but something that beginners will maybe struggle with is using their pinky here, 11th fret of the B string. You got to put the pinky here and immediately bend that with that 3rd finger. Now, Now strike it while it's bent and release. That's a critical move for a beginner to learn as well. The pre-bent, pull down, release. In this phrase, we did this. So that would be a great exercise to do if you're not good at getting it. Next, add some really nice vibrato here on this note. Next, I'm doing a rake here. A little bit more challenging of a lick for a beginner, but I'm raking, muting with this right palm, 8 to 9. And then I'm rolling with my third finger, 10 to 10. Classic blues move. You hear that done all the time. You could do one note. Trick is to play on the meat of your finger, not on the tip of the third. So a lot of cool things to learn there in lick 2 as well.